Hi, I'm Dr. Paul Haefner. Welcome to Sport Psych in a Minute, your weekly resource for insights and tips into the psychological side of equestrian sport. There is a well-known inspirational story called 3 Feet from Gold. It's about a miner who goes out west during the gold rush. He finds a vein of gold, comes back to get funding and purchase all the equipment he needs to mine it, goes back out, and in short order, after they get all set up, they reach the end of the gold vein. Discouraged, they give away or sell cheaply all of their equipment to a local junk man who, knowing something more about geology, seeks consultation about the fault lines and goes back to the mine they were digging, digs another 3 feet, and hits a main gold vein. The story is often used to talk about or share the idea of never give up. I think the other statements are things like winners never quit, quitters never win. These kinds of ideas that we should never ever give up. But one of the things that has been really clear to me over the years is that balance is really, really important. The idea that it's always one solution, always driving forward, always working in the direction we've chosen to move, is unfortunately sometimes a recipe for disaster or getting hurt or getting discouraged or quitting what it is that we're doing and what we love. On the other hand, certainly I would not argue that every time you reach a frustration, you should walk away. Most things take a fair amount of the ability to tolerate frustration or discomfort. Everybody talks about moving outside of our comfort zone as a way of growing and learning. The challenge, I think, is not to adopt an all or nothing attitude in either direction. It's not to walk away, give up easily, only do things that we love and are fun. It's not to keep going no matter what. There's an interesting part of the story that people generally don't focus on or talk much about, and that's the idea that the junk man with all of this equipment and the mine that had been dug and knowing some information about where they found the gold they found, sought some consultation and included in his process information that the first miner didn't have in order to make a judgment about where he should dig and or if he should keep digging. For us, in our writing, I think what a word that really captures that idea for me is the idea of discernment. And discernment in some ways is a tough term to define. It has a quality of something like wisdom to it. It's about making good judgments or good choices, and also has this quality, especially in some of the religious traditions, of gathering information, of opening your perception, okay, without judging, in order to have a larger base of information in order to make choices from. So rather than to advocate and never give up or never quit, rather than to advocate, if it's hard and it doesn't feel good, go find something else that does, what I'm advocating for us is to invest in the process of discernment. If we find ourselves in difficult spaces or difficult places, it may not be the wisest thing to keep banging our head against the wall, moving in the same direction. But it may benefit us to take a step back, to gather information, to take a look at what we're doing, to consult with others, sometimes people that we know and trust, often it's helpful to consult with others who have a whole different take on things and a whole different opinion. And with all of that information, to discern our pathway forward. And if it's reasonable to expect that with more hard work and more effort and sticking in there and working hard, that we may be just so to speak 3 feet from gold, then we can drive forward. If in that process of discernment, we're thinking that if I keep moving on that pathway, I'm really going to lose everything I have. I'm going to lose my motivation. I'm going to become overly discouraged or overfaced. Or perhaps I find out that continuing in that direction is going to be a dead end for me or my horse. Then it's wise, I think, to take a look at a different direction and make a different choice. This has been Sport Psych in a Minute. I'm Dr. Paul Haefner. I'll look forward to seeing you next week.